there. Hey, it's Catherine Chess, your nutritionist and joyful living coach. Are you doing everything right and still not releasing weight? This could be because of insulin resistance, and I'm here to tell you how to heal yourself and get off that set point or that plateau. So let's first look at insulin. What is insulin? Insulin is the hormone that's secreted by the pancreas to regulate and control blood sugar. Insulin transports sugar into your cells. Your pancreas sits on your left side, right under your ribs near your stomach. Insulin works like a traffic cop. It directs and tells the nutrients where to go. The magic number for glucose or insulin levels in your blood sugar, it needs to be at 100 to be at your mental and your physical best. When we eat too much sugar, eat too many carbs, we drink too much alcohol, and even if we eat too much dairy because it turns into lactose, the pancreas has to work overtime. Unfortunately, sugar is in most all processed foods, and so we really have to watch our sugars and the foods that we eat. I recommend eating whole, real foods. What happens is, over time, your receptor cells with too much sugar, they become resistant. And your body says, why are you still eating sugar? Stop. So to protect your cells, your body turns off the receptors in your cells. And your cell receptors become resistant to sugar. So what happens to all that insulin that's moving in your body? Because the pancreas, it doesn't get the signal that the cells have shut down. So the pancreas continues to produce more and more insulin. That insulin goes into your blood system and circulates along with the blood sugars. And when this happens, your blood sugar rises and rises and rises, and you can't release weight no matter what you do. Your muscles, your fat, and your liver don't respond well to insulin. So they can't move the sugars around your body. Your cells have a very, very weak response to insulin. And your blood glucose levels, they're not healthy. When this happens, what are the symptoms that you can get? You feel tired, you feel bloated, you have sugar cravings or more sugar cravings. The more insulin you have circulating in your body, the harder it becomes to lose weight. I think I can't say that enough. It becomes much, much harder to burn fat, and you stay on a plateau. So how do you know if you have insulin resistance? This is a really simple test. All you need to do is find your hip to waist ratio. So take a simple measuring tape, put it around your waist at the smallest point. Get that number. Then take a measuring tape, put it around your hips at the largest point. Get that number. Divide the waist measurement into the hip measurement. And if your measurement is 0.08 or 0.8 or higher, then you have insulin resistance. That's for women. If you're a man, your measurement is 1.0. So something to look at, right? You can also get a fasting insulin test. This is not a glucose test. This is a fasting insulin test. You fast for 12 hours and they take a blood test. Then you go out and you eat and you wait 2 more hours and they take the insulin test. And with that, your doctor can order this and you can see if you have insulin resistance. Another way you can check that is to get your cholesterol checked. So if you have abnormal cholesterol, you have abnormal fasting insulin, and abnormal blood glucose, that indicates that you have insulin resistance. So this is kind of like the trifecta, right? Especially if you have low HDL, the good cholesterol, and high triglycerides. Another way you can really tell if you have insulin resistance is to do a skin check. Do you have dark patches under your arms, in your elbows, in your neck? Maybe you have skin tags. That's a really big indicator that you have insulin resistance. There are so many signs of insulin resistance, so I'm just going to give you a few more. You get super hungry all the time. Hangry. You want to eat your arm. It's because you have a fat person that is not absorbing her nutrients because your cells have shut down. And so your nutrients can't absorb, or your cells can't absorb the nutrients. And so you're starving in this body and you're hungry all the time. You also can't store sugar. So your blood glucose is really off, and you're making more fat cells to hold the sugar because the cells just keep producing, and then you get fatter. You have major highs and lows. You're up once, you're down. You're tired, you're wired, you're tired. That's a really good indicator that you have insulin resistance. Blood sugar helps keep you balanced. So when this happens, you may experience these symptoms: digestive problems, bloating, pain that goes around your back, upper back fat, those dreaded love handles, the muffin top, obesity, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, thyroid problems, muscle loss, fatty liver, cancers, and even Alzheimer's are all symptoms that can be caused by insulin resistance. You know, this is something I never realized until I started studying this and until I became a menopausal woman. Insulin resistance can be the cause of so many menopausal symptoms. It has a cascading effect on things like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. When insulin isn't doing its job, it's nearly impossible to reduce the symptoms of menopause, including things like hot flashes, night sweats. It also makes weight loss nearly impossible. That's why when we're hormonal women, we gain weight. Your body is really protecting the cells. It's not protecting the blood, okay? If you have too much insulin in your cells and your cells are full, like I said, you're not receiving the nutrients. Everything is full of sugar. You're not stabilizing your blood sugars. The sugar remains in your blood system. The insulin is circulating through your blood system. You're getting the picture? And no wonder you can't release weight. So what do you do about insulin resistance? Number one, really, really important, avoid all sugars. You can increase your potassium levels. I love potassium foods. This will lower your insulin and store sugar. You can eat 7 to 10 cups of vegetables a day, including vegetables that have potassium. So what are potassium vegetables, or vegetables with potassium? Sweet potatoes, my fave. Red potatoes. You can also have tomato sauce. You can easily make your own. Don't buy it in a jar. Too many preservatives. I have a video on YouTube that you can check out on how to make your own. It takes about 10 minutes, super simple, super easy. Another great food with potassium is watermelon. You can eat more beets, spinach, zucchini, black and white beans, salmon, edamame, yams, butternut squash, sweet Swiss chard, lettuce. All of those are great sources of potassium. Another thing you can really do for yourself is take more B vitamins. What happens is when you're eating a lot of sugar, the B vitamins get depleted in your system. You're actually just urinating them out. But I don't recommend B vitamins in a pill. I recommend nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is a deactivated yeast that's loaded with all your B vitamins, especially great for vegetarians because vegetarians usually aren't getting B12. And it also has all your amino acids. So great for you. So more B. Another great suggestion I have is to eat more protein, especially at breakfast. Make sure your breakfast it contains protein, fat, and fiber. Fat is so important. So I want you eating a low carb, moderate protein, high fat, high fiber diet. And I say just a little bit of protein, maybe about 8 ounces a day. 4 ounces at each serving, at each meal. That's the size of your palm. And then skip a meal with protein. Protein can raise your insulin levels, so you just want to be careful about that, especially animal protein. If you eat animal protein, use it as a condiment and eat more vegetables. There's a theme here. Eliminate all refined carbohydrates, such as white breads, pasta, as well as alcohol and sugary drinks. My next recommendation is one of my favorite things to do. Start moving. We need to exercise. But I'm not talking about P90X or TRX. Sometimes when you exercise too much, it can raise your cortisol levels and increase your insulin levels. So 30 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week is perfect. Get out and walk. If you're not, if you're not used to exercise, or maybe some of you can't exercise, start chair exercising. Dance in a chair. Put on some music. 30 minutes is all I ask. Hey, so many of us don't smoke anymore, but if you're a smoker, quit that. Quit smoking. It's associated with high insulin levels. Let's talk a little bit about dairy. Dairy turns into lactose. But if you choose to eat dairy, and I recommend against it, eat raw dairy. And that'll help everything stay balanced. You're not getting the antibiotics, the processed junk that they put in processed dairy. The next thing I recommend is to try intermittent fasting. Have you ever heard of it? So we can make this really easy, okay? Intermittent fasting means stopping eating for 12 hours. So at night, you stop eating, say, at 7 o'clock at night, and in the morning, you start eating at 7, 12 hours in between. And in between your meals, you allow 4 hours to go by before you eat anything else. What that'll do, it allows your body to assimilate and heal your organs as opposed to digesting. Simple way to intermittently fast. Another thing I suggest is try food combining. It just helps so much with your digestion. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be eating protein only with vegetables. You're going to eat starch only with vegetables. You're never going to eat starch and protein together, and you eat fruit by itself. Fruit digests so fast that when you eat it with a protein, it often sits and ferments. So if you follow that rule of thumb, protein with vegetables, starch with vegetables, fruit by itself, and wait at least 4 hours in between meals, you're going to be in really good shape to reduce your insulin resistance. The next thing I recommend, you're going to love this, reduce your stress levels. When cortisol, your main stress hormone, invokes your fight or flight response, it allows the levels of glucose to circulate through the body while insulin is suppressed. What happens is consistently elevated levels of cortisol, they lead to blood sugar imbalances, weight gain, and diabetes. There are so many ways to reduce your stress levels. I like to breathe, get out in nature, read a good book, do something that brings you a lot of joy, and really, really enjoy life. Stop grumbling, get out and find your joy to reduce your stress levels. You can also practice mindfulness. I love my mindfulness practice for when you're eating. Put your food on a plate. Chew, 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 chew. Take 5 breaths before you eat. It really can make a difference. Follow my food guidelines. Breathe, breathe, breathe before you eat. Be mindful of what you're putting in your mouth. And then notice when you're full. Check in with your body. You might get that full signal in mid-bite. When you're full, stop eating. Your body will thank you. So this is something that we really don't look at, but your emotions can really cause a lot of havoc in your body with insulin resistance. Fear and anger. Emotions such as fear and anger, when they're held too long, they create chemical reactions in your body that don't support your health. I would like you, if you feel like you're upset, you're in fear, breathe into your body. Notice where the fear is. Hold that place in your body and breathe into it for 90 seconds. Release it. You're going to feel so much better. So when you're in menopause and you gain weight, it's a real complex issue. There are tons and tons of different causes, but let me be clear. Insulin resistance in menopause is not caused by the menopause. Lots of women go through menopause without getting insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a result of overall poor hormonal health. If you're struggling with any postmenopausal insulin resistance and weight gain, let's look at some suggestions that you can do to get you out of that. So get your cortisol levels checked. There's lots of ways. Your doctor can do it for you with a blood test. I have a test, it's a paper test, that you can pretty much see by looking at the symptoms if your cortisol levels are high. Or you can go and get a dural cortisol test where you test 4 times a day by spitting in a little tube just to check your cortisol levels. Take a magnesium supplement. This is huge. We are so deficient with magnesium. 80% of people have magnesium deficiency. Just get a good magnesium glycinate, a good magnesium citrate, something that is pure and, a therapeutic grade magnesium supplement, and start taking about 450 milligrams a day. But if you start having loose stools, magnesium can cause diarrhea. It's just your body signaling you that you don't need that much, and you can cut it back, but start taking magnesium. My next suggestion is to salt your food. Your adrenals that are really trying to take over for those ovaries breaking down, they need salt. So have a little more sea salt in your diet. Really enjoy it. Not the iodized salt, but sea salt. It's so good for you. When your sodium levels are out of balance, you can have more aches and pains. You can feel more stressed. Your cortisol and insulin levels, they really will be out of whack. And your muscles become stiff. So what sodium does is it relaxes the soft tissue. Just add a little bit of sea salt to your diet. I like to put a 1/4 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt in warm water first thing in the morning. I gargle it and then I swallow it just to make sure my sodium levels stay in the right place. Like I said, don't over-exercise. When it comes to symptoms with insulin resistance and exercise, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Some forms of exercise, they can actually put an increased demand on your body, increasing cortisol and insulin. If you're working out a lot and not losing weight, or you're actually gaining weight, yikes, or fat, especially around your middle, you may need to adjust your exercise routine and the frequency. Try different types of low-intensity workouts, such as walking, yoga, Pilates. Things that are muscle-bearing are also really, really great. And just adjust and experiment with your body and see what happens. Another thing is, we all try and limit our foods to really release weight. Here's the deal. You have to eat more to weigh less. When you were in your 20s, you probably could live by the theory of calories in, calories out to keep your body healthy and well. Our bodies are different now. That doesn't work. It can really backfire on you and increase the cortisol and insulin levels, decrease thyroid function, causing you to gain weight. This is especially true if you're restricting calories and exercising more. You need to get enough calories from whole, real foods. You really need to provide your body with the nutrients and the building blocks for energy production. All right, can't say this enough. You need to cut out sugar and alcohol. Yeah. I know, that's a hard one. It was for me for years and years. And when I gave up alcohol and most all sugar, every now and then I'll have some dark chocolate, things really changed for me. What happens is when you drink alcohol, your liver is busy. It's busy breaking down the alcohol, and it can't process the hormones, creating further imbalances in estrogen and cortisol. And I really want you to check in with your emotions. Creating health at midlife requires learning to take care of yourself instead of everybody else. How many of you out there do that? Really take care of everyone else instead of taking care of yourself. This includes regaining body acceptance, loving this beautiful body you live in, regaining your self-esteem. Maybe the self-esteem you lost in adolescence, you need it back. Maybe you've been in a relationship with an energy vampire. It's time for you to take yourself back. I'm wondering, do you seek the approval of others? If so, ask yourself why. Are you afraid to take care of yourself? What could happen? Could someone maybe think that's selfish? Remember, emotions are energy. Unresolved emotions stagnate the energy in your body. Releasing them can do wonders for helping you to release weight and the unwanted pounds, especially if you're judgmental, critical, you roll your eyes at things. See what you can do to combat that. You're going to be in such a great place. The more positive you are, the happier your body will be. So I'm Catherine Chess, your nutritionist and joyful living coach, and I hope this was helpful. I run a program. It's called 3 Months to Thrive. Transform your relationship with food and life. And we go through so many things in 3 Months to Thrive, learning that it's not just about food. To get your body really healthy and well, you really have to look at what's inside you. The emotions, the issues are in the tissues, and your body reads all that. To learn more about my program, go to my website at www.catherinechess, that's KATHRYNCHESS insulinwellness.com and read about my 3 Months to Thrive program. I would love to have you on board if you're not already. And let's kick your insulin levels to the curb, get happier, healthier, and bring your body to its perfect weight. Thank you. I love you.